Stop scrolling for a second, because the internet just exploded over one question that nobody thought would return in 2026. Is Cardi B really going back to Offset again? It all started with a single moment on one of the biggest stages in the world. During her sold-out Madison Square Garden performance, Cardi accidentally said Offset's name while performing a song where she had been avoiding mentioning him for years. The second it happened, her facial expression said everything. She looked shocked, the crowd went crazy, and within minutes the clip was everywhere online. But that wasn't the only thing fueling the rumors. Just days later, a late-night Instagram live involving Offset had fans convinced that the former couple was heading toward another unexpected reunion. After everything they had been through, the cheating scandals, the public apologies, the breakups, the makeups, the marriages, the divorces, and the years of emotional drama, people started asking the same question they had asked so many times before. Is this another chapter of the Cardi and Offset love story? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that you can never predict what happens between these two. Their relationship has survived moments that would have ended most couples forever. Every time the world thought it was over, somehow they found their way back to each other. But this time feels different. Behind the viral clips, the emotional social media moments, and the internet theories, there is a much bigger story that most people don't know. A story that begins long before the fame, the headlines, and the heartbreak. To understand what is really happening between Cardi B and Offset today, we have to go back to the very beginning, because their story has always been far more complicated than anyone realized. Back in early 2017, before the world knew their names would become connected in one of hip-hop's most talked-about relationships, Cardi B and Offset were quietly building a connection behind the scenes. There were no public announcements, no official confirmations, and no dramatic social media reveals. Instead, there were small signs, mysterious appearances, and little moments that made fans start putting the pieces together. At the time, Cardi was rapidly becoming one of the biggest new voices in music, while Offset was already experiencing massive success as part of one of the most influential rap groups of the era. Their worlds were colliding, but both of them chose to keep their personal relationship away from the public eye. In interviews, Cardi avoided giving direct answers about who she was dating. Whenever questions came up about a certain rapper from Atlanta, she would smile, change the subject, or simply refuse to reveal too much. Offset acted the same way. When his friends joked about Cardi during interviews, his reactions only added more fuel to the rumors. The public didn't have confirmation, but the clues were everywhere. Fans noticed their chemistry, their appearances together, and the way they seemed to support each other behind the scenes. Then came the moment that surprised everyone. In September 2017, Cardi and Offset secretly got married. There were no cameras, no celebrity guests, and no huge celebration. It was a private moment between two people who believed they were beginning a lifelong journey together. The world would not learn about the marriage until months later, making the revelation even more shocking. For a short time, they looked like the perfect couple. They were young, successful, wealthy, and at the top of the entertainment industry. Their relationship became a symbol of two powerful artists building an empire together. But behind the luxury, fame, and glamorous appearances, serious problems were already starting to develop. Rumors of Offset being unfaithful began spreading across the internet. Reports and leaked conversations created a massive controversy that placed their marriage under intense public pressure. The situation became even more emotional because Cardi was expecting their first child at the time. Fans around the world watched closely and waited to see what decision she would make. Many believed the relationship had reached its final chapter. But they were wrong. Instead of immediately walking away, Cardi decided to try and save the relationship. She publicly explained that relationships are complicated, and that making such a difficult decision was not as simple as people on the outside might think. However, trying to fix something broken was not easy. By the end of 2018, Cardi revealed that she and Offset were having serious problems. She explained that they had been trying to work things out for a long time, but had reached a point where they were no longer together. For millions of fans, it felt like the end of a love story that had moved incredibly fast. But Offset was not ready to give up. Shortly after the breakup became public, he appeared on social media with an emotional apology. He admitted that he had made mistakes, that he had hurt Cardi, and that he regretted the decisions that damaged their marriage. It was one of the first times fans saw him publicly accept responsibility for the problems in their relationship. But he didn't stop there. In a move that immediately dominated headlines, Offset made a dramatic appearance during one of Cardi's performances at a major music festival. He came with an enormous display of flowers and a message asking for forgiveness in front of thousands of people. The entire audience watched in shock as one of the most personal moments of their relationship played out on a public stage. Many people saw it as romantic. Others believed it placed Cardi in an uncomfortable position. And at that moment, nobody knew whether the grand gesture would actually change anything. Cardi remained focused on her performance and did not give the emotional reaction that many people expected. The moment quickly became one of the most discussed celebrity events of the year. To the public, it looked like the relationship had completely collapsed. But behind closed doors, something was changing. Weeks later, reports began suggesting that the two were spending time together again and trying to rebuild what they had lost. Their history, their family, and the bond they shared made walking away much harder than either of them expected. Then came one of the biggest moments that confirmed what fans had been suspecting. During the following award season, Cardi and Offset appeared together again. Their public affection made it clear that they had decided to give their marriage another chance. For supporters of the couple, it was proof that love could overcome mistakes. For critics, it was only the beginning of a cycle they believed would repeat itself again and again. And that is exactly what happened, because the next few years would become a never-ending story of love, forgiveness, controversy, and heartbreak. Every time it seemed like Cardi and Offset had finally found peace, another challenge appeared that threatened to destroy everything they had rebuilt. The world was about to witness the most complicated chapter of their relationship yet. One that would test whether two people who clearly loved each other could actually leave their painful past behind. And as the years passed, the pattern of breaking up and finding their way back together became something fans almost expected. But nobody could have imagined just how much more dramatic their story was about to become. After finding their way back to each other, Cardi B and Offset entered a new chapter that looked like a complete comeback story. The public saw the smiles, the luxury vacations, the red carpet appearances, and the moments where they seemed more connected than ever before. They appeared in music videos together, attended major events side by side, and showed the world a relationship that had survived one of its biggest storms. At award shows, they displayed affection openly, creating headlines and convincing many fans that they had left the painful past behind. For a while, it looked like the second chance had worked. Cardi spoke openly about forgiveness and explained that rebuilding trust was not something that happened overnight. She believed relationships required effort from both people, and she made it clear that mistakes could be addressed if there was real change and accountability. Offset also publicly expressed that the situation taught him valuable lessons. He talked about appreciating his family more and understanding the consequences of his actions. From the outside, it appeared as if they had transformed a broken relationship into a stronger one. The two celebrated milestones together, supported each other's careers, and continued building their family. Fans saw them as one of hip-hop's most powerful couples, two people who had faced public embarrassment, criticism, and controversy, but still found a way to remain together. But appearances can be deceiving. Behind the glamorous photos and public displays of affection, old problems were never completely gone. By 2020, the relationship reached another breaking point. Cardi made the decision to file for divorce, describing the marriage as something that could no longer continue in its current state. To many people, this felt like the final chapter. After everything they had already gone through, many believed there was no possible way they would find their way back to each other again. But history repeated itself. Only a short time later, the divorce proceedings were dismissed, and the couple reunited. Once again, the internet was shocked. Some people celebrated their reunion, while others questioned whether they were simply returning to the same cycle that had hurt them in the first place. Cardi later explained that she saw effort and change. She believed that Offset was trying to become a better husband and partner, and that effort convinced her to give the marriage another opportunity. Soon their family grew even bigger. During a memorable public appearance, Cardi revealed that they were expecting their second child together. The announcement became a major moment for fans who had followed their relationship from the beginning. When their son was born, many people believed the difficult years were finally behind them. They appeared to be entering a more stable and mature phase of their marriage. But relationships with a complicated history rarely change overnight. As the years continued, new accusations and public disagreements once again brought their private struggles into the spotlight. In 2023, tensions between the two became visible on social media. Accusations were made publicly, responses followed, and fans watched another painful chapter unfold in real time. Every post, every statement, and every reaction became a headline. The situation created even more questions about whether their marriage could survive another major conflict. Eventually, Cardi confirmed that they had separated. She admitted that she had been keeping the news private because she did not know the right way to tell the world. For many fans, hearing those words felt familiar. They had watched this story before. The breakup, the uncertainty, the rumors of reconciliation. It had become a pattern that defined Cardi and Offset's entire relationship. Then came the New Year celebrations that confused everyone once again. The two were seen spending time in the same environment, causing social media users to immediately assume that another reunion was happening. But Cardi quickly addressed the speculation. She made it clear that sharing a moment together did not automatically mean they had repaired everything. She explained that true reconciliation would require much deeper changes, including better communication and personal growth from both sides. It was a rare moment where she acknowledged the emotional connection they still shared, while also recognizing the problems that continued to separate them. Months later, they were again seen together at public events, which restarted the rumors all over again. People continued asking the same question. Were they slowly finding their way back to each other? Or were they simply two people trying to maintain a connection because of their history and their children? Even Cardi admitted that separating from someone who had been such an important part of her life was not easy. She described the emotional difficulty of distancing yourself from someone who had been your best friend for years. That statement gave many fans hope. Maybe another reunion was coming. Maybe the cycle would repeat one more time. But what happened next would completely change the direction of their story. In the summer of 2024, Cardi made one of the most serious decisions of their entire relationship. She filed for divorce again. This time the situation felt different. After years of public ups and downs, emotional apologies, reunions, and promises of change, it appeared that she had reached a point where she could no longer continue the same pattern. Reports suggested that the decision was not based on one single event, but on years of growing apart and realizing that their relationship was no longer working. The separation was described as something that had been building for a long time. Yet the complexity of their story continued because, even while moving forward with the divorce, they were still connected through the family they had built together. The situation became even more emotional as they prepared to welcome another child, showing just how complicated their relationship had become. They were no longer simply two celebrities involved in a public breakup. They were parents, former partners, and two people who had spent years trying to make something work despite countless obstacles. But after the divorce filing, the emotions that had remained hidden for years finally started coming out publicly. The respectful image of an amicable separation quickly disappeared as both sides began expressing frustration and anger. The internet watched as one of the most famous relationships in hip-hop entered what many believed would be its most painful chapter yet. The love story that once seemed impossible to break had now become a battle filled with heartbreak, resentment, and unfinished business. And as the divorce process continued, even more drama was waiting around the corner. Financial disputes, public accusations, new relationships, and a shocking moment that would make millions of people wonder whether the story of Cardi B and Offset was truly over. Because just when everyone believed the final chapter had been written, a few unexpected events in 2025 and 2026 would cause the internet to ask the same question one more time. Could Cardi and Offset somehow find their way back to each other? Or was this finally the end? By the time 2025 arrived, the relationship between Cardi B and Offset had transformed into something completely different from the love story that once dominated headlines. What had started as a secret romance, survived public scandals, and gone through multiple reunions had now reached its most complicated and emotional stage. Although their divorce was still being processed, Cardi made it clear that remaining legally married did not mean they were rebuilding their relationship. According to her public statements, she was focused on moving forward with her life, her career, and her children. However, moving forward did not stop the internet from continuing to connect every new headline back to Offset. As the divorce proceedings continued, financial disagreements and legal issues became part of the public conversation. Reports claimed that the two had disagreements over money, assets, and the final terms of ending their marriage. After years of building a life together, separating everything they created was never going to be simple. For fans who had followed them since 2017, it was difficult to accept that the couple who had overcome so many public challenges could actually be reaching the end of their story. But while Cardi was looking toward a new future, her personal life was beginning a completely different chapter. Rumors began linking her to NFL star Stefon Diggs, and as time passed, their relationship became public. The two were seen together at major events, and Cardi openly talked about enjoying this new phase of her life. For the first time in years, fans saw a version of Cardi that appeared focused on a fresh start, rather than trying to repair her past. Meanwhile, Offset continued making headlines for different reasons. During interviews and public appearances, he admitted that he had made mistakes during the marriage. He acknowledged that he should have handled many situations differently and accepted responsibility for actions that contributed to the end of their relationship. For many people watching, this was a major moment because it was one of the most direct acknowledgments of regret he had made publicly. But then another unexpected twist entered the conversation. Internet personality Selena Powell began making claims about private conversations and interactions involving Offset. She suggested that he still spoke about Cardi frequently and had not completely moved on from the relationship. Those statements immediately went viral. But even people discussing the situation pointed out that allegations made by individuals online should always be viewed carefully, especially when they cannot be independently confirmed. Still, the timing of these claims, combined with Offset's own public comments about his regrets, caused many fans to believe there were still unresolved feelings. Then came the moment that brought the entire internet back into detective mode. During a sold-out performance at Madison Square Garden, Cardi performed one of the songs that had become deeply connected to her history with Offset. For years after their separation, she had avoided saying his name during certain lyrics. But this time one word slipped out. The second it happened, the crowd reacted instantly. Videos spread across social media within minutes. Some fans were convinced that the mistake revealed hidden emotions. Others believed it was simply a habit created from performing the same song hundreds of times. Cardi's reaction became the biggest clue in the entire debate. Instead of smiling or embracing the moment, she appeared surprised and uncomfortable after saying his name, leading many people to interpret it as an accidental mistake rather than a secret confession. But before the internet could settle down, another rumor started spreading. A report circulated claiming that Offset had gone live on social media early in the morning, emotionally trying to reach out to Cardi. Given their long history of dramatic public moments, many fans immediately remembered his previous attempts to win her back. After all, this was a couple whose entire relationship had been filled with unexpected reunions. They had broken up before. They had filed for divorce before. They had said goodbye before. And somehow they had found their way back together. So naturally, many people believed history was repeating itself again. But when all the evidence was examined together, the answer became much less dramatic than the rumors suggested. There was no public confirmation that Cardi and Offset had reunited. There was no announcement, no official statement, and no clear indication that they were rebuilding a romantic relationship. In fact, Cardi's own comments suggested the opposite. She repeatedly explained that their connection now centered around their children, and that she had moved into a different stage of her life. The reality was that the internet had taken a few emotional moments and turned them into a story that many people wanted to believe. The accidental lyric, the late-night social media moment, the history of breakups and reunions. When placed together, they created the perfect celebrity drama. But a perfect story does not always mean it is true. The truth is that Cardi B and Offset shared one of the most unforgettable relationships in modern hip-hop. Their journey included love, success, family, forgiveness, betrayal, public apologies, and countless moments that kept millions of people watching. That history is exactly why every small interaction between them still creates worldwide attention. People remember the moments when everyone thought they were finished, only for them to return together months later. People remember the apologies, the emotional gestures, and the times they proved everyone wrong. That history is what makes every rumor feel believable. But sometimes a chapter really does come to an end. From everything publicly known, Cardi appears focused on her future, her family, her career, and the life she is building outside of her relationship with Offset. And while Offset has openly expressed regret about the past, regret alone does not rewrite history. The biggest lesson from their story is that love can be powerful, but love by itself does not always fix years of pain, broken trust, and repeated problems. For years, the world watched Cardi and Offset write one of the most dramatic celebrity love stories of their generation. Now the world is watching something completely different. Not a reunion, not a secret comeback, but two people trying to move forward after a relationship that changed both of their lives forever. And maybe that is the ending nobody expected, but the one that finally makes the most sense. What do you think about the entire Cardi B and Offset story? After years of breakups, makeups, public apologies, unforgettable moments, and emotional battles, do you believe their chapter is truly over? Or could history somehow repeat itself one more time? One thing is certain. This relationship has given the internet some of the most talked about moments in hip-hop history, and every new headline still has millions of people paying attention. Now we want to hear your opinion. Do you think Cardi made the right decision by moving forward? Or do you believe there is still a chance for her and Offset to reconnect in the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because the conversation is far from over. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most dramatic celebrity stories of recent years, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest celebrity news, hidden details, and stories that everyone online is talking about. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.